So for weeks, SDS has been teasing us with images and attributes of cards in the 42 Team Affinity series, which is going to include one player from each team. Also included in the 42 series, we're going to see 8 different legends. If you pre-ordered the game, if you get the $85 edition, you're going to be able to choose one of these Diamond Legends, and if you got the $100 edition, you're going to be able to get 2 of these Diamond Legends. Now, the Legends that are in the Choice Pack, 6 of them we had in the game last year, whereas 2 of them are actually brand new for this year, which is why these 2 players are actually at the top of my list of most anticipated of the 8 Legends. So to start things off, I'll talk about my 8 legends, ranking them 1 through 8 in order of anticipation for me personally. It doesn't necessarily have to do with stats, but just who I would like to play with the most. The first, we've got Hank Aaron. Again, Hank Aaron wasn't in the game last year. I want to see him this year, see his swing, see his defense. I know he's going to be good. He's one of the best players of all time for a reason. Number 2 is the other new player this year, Pedro Martinez. Pedro Martinez dominated the steroid era, and I'm excited to see how he dominates MLB The Show. The third player I have in my most anticipated is actually someone that I didn't hit well with at all last year. I think I only played like 15 games with him and got him off my team because I don't know, every other human being, every other soul that touched this card hit balls onto Mars, but I couldn't hit anything with him. It was like swinging a wet pool noodle. However, I'm hoping his card this year will click with me a little better. I know he has a good swing. I don't know what was happening last year. Anyways, this card, number 3, the kid Ken Griffey Jr. I'm looking forward to seeing how this card plays. I probably won't end up picking him because, again, you can only pick 2, and I'm leaning towards those other 2 to begin with. The fourth card that I am looking forward to seeing how they play, number 4, Mariano Rivera. Number 1, I'm a Yankees fan. Even though I'm wearing a Nats jersey today, this is just a Juan Soto jersey because Juan Soto is my boy. However, number 4, Mariano Rivera. He was amazing last year. I mean, obviously his cutter, absolute filth. I don't know if this card, with it being a lower overall, is going to have the sinker like 99 Mariano did, because we all know he didn't have a sinker in real life. However, again, he'll probably be the best closer in the game when the game comes out, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he plays. Number 5, we've got Jackie Robinson, the namesake of the 42 collection. We all know Jackie has good contact, good fielding, good speed, all of that. We know it's going to be good with Jackie. However, we don't really know how good his power is going to be with it being a lower overall card. So I'm interested to see that. But at number 5, Jackie Robinson. All right, at number 6, I've got somebody who had a high overall card last year and honestly got teed off a little bit sometimes. I guess it depends at what level he was playing at. On All-Star, wasn't great. On Hall of Fame, he was a lot better. And this card, number 6, would be Bob Gibson. Now, I'm not entirely sure what Bob Gibson's pitch mix is going to look like on this card, but we all know Bob Gibson throws absolute gas. So I'm looking forward to seeing how his velo looks on day 1, how hard he can throw, if he can blow by hitters, his pitch mix on day 1, the first week, first month of the game before better cards start coming out. It's not really going to matter what his pitch mix is if he throws absolute heat. Number 7 I've got on here is Frank Thomas. Frank Thomas, notorious for crushing lefties in this game, can't hit a righty to save his life. But if I'm being honest, he's just better than number 8, and that's why I have him at number 7, because at number 8 is Cal Ripken Jr. Cal Ripken Jr. has one of the worst swings in Diamond Dynasty history. Don't at me, it's a fact. Cal Ripken Jr., however, plays great defense. He's got decent speed, so he'll be usable at the beginning of the year, but his swing is just awful. Alright, so having talked about the 8 legends, gone through the easy stuff, the quick stuff, talking about the legends, which ones I would prefer 1 through 8, Now I'm going to talk about the 23 different cards that we've seen that SDS has released on their Twitter. They've had different content creators releasing them, and the content creators that get to showcase these players actually also got to showcase their attributes. However, every other player that was only just released by SDS, we only saw the little mini trailer. Each one of those players, we don't get to see their attributes. So sadly, we only have a couple players to go off of to see what the attributes are actually going to be like. And I'm just going to come out and say from the top that I'm very excited about what these cards look like. The few cards we've seen, their stats look very good. Minus one of them who does not actually excite me in the slightest and is at the very, very close to the bottom of my list. To start off my list, we're going to start at the bottom, number 23, my least anticipated player. This player is at the bottom only because of a small amount of personal bias due to the team he's on, but we don't have to talk about that because he's also not looking to be that great of a card, at least going based off of what his card looked like last year. This player, number 23, is Willy Adames of the Rays. Now, he plays shortstop, and he plays it with an amazing arm. He's going to have one of the best arms in the game for a while, but his fielding is only so-so. It's decent. He's got decent speed, and he's not that great at the plate. There's not really a single thing about Willy Adames that excites me, obviously, besides the fact that he can make those deep throws, but he's got to get to the ball first. So, Willy Adames, number 23, he just doesn't do anything for me. Number 22 also doesn't really do anything for me. He had a decent card last year, 95 overall, I believe. Lefty bat Jason Heyward of the Cubs. Jason Heyward is always going to have that great defense and that great arm, but he's really not that good at the plate. I don't know how usable he's going to be. Again, he's going to be an 88 overall, so he'll be serviceable, but I just don't know how serviceable. Number 21 is actually someone who we've seen the attributes of. The first player that I'm going to talk about that we've actually seen the attributes of, and this player is David Fletcher. Now, we always know what we're getting with David Fletcher, every card he has. Great contact, great fielding, decent arm, not that fast, and atrocious power. And his power just downright is what does nothing for me. If he was a little faster, I could say he'd maybe be a serviceable leadoff hitter, but he's not even that fast. He has 92 and 87 contact, 49 and 49 power, 99 fielding, 74 arm, 60 speed, and he's only got 2 secondary positions. So again, like Jason Heyward, he'll be serviceable, but his bat is just not going to be it. Number 20, above David Fletcher, we have Anthony Santander. He's a switch hitter. Every card he has is better against righties, and he's going to have great defense and a relatively decent to good arm, but I just don't know how good he'll be. Again, he's not really that exciting, like not a great big name player like some of the people on this list. He plays for a not very good team. So we'll see how his card turns out. Number 19, we have Trent Grisham. We always know Trent Grisham, lefty bat. He's going to be a righty killer, and he's not really going to have that good a defense, and he's going to have a weak arm, but he's going to be able to hit. Part of the reason I have Trent Grisham this low is because there's so many big names that we could have seen from the Padres. We could have Eric Hosmer, Will Myers, obviously Manny Machado. We could have, the person who is quite literally on the cover of the game, Fernando Tatis Jr., and then we could have also had Yu Darvish. We could have Blake Snell. The list goes on and on and on, and they chose Trent Grisham. Now at number 18, we've got a pitcher for the A's, Jesus Luzardo. He's a lefty, but the good thing about Jesus Luzardo is going to be his 5-pitch mix, and he's going to have a good curveball. Hopefully this year curveballs are fixed in the game. Last year, obviously, they hung all the time. Curveballs were practically unusable. This year we have the new pitching method, so hopefully that allows us to use curveballs more effectively, pinpoint location, etc. So hopefully with his 5-pitch mix and his good curve, and then I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's going to have high velo because it's Jesus Luzardo and he throws hard. Yeah, I just think it'll be a pretty good card, but he's the lowest pitcher I have on this list because I think the other pitchers excite me more and could be better. So that's why he's so low. Number 17, right above Jesus Luzardo, is another pitcher, Patrick Corbin. He's going to have that absolutely nasty slider. The problem with Patrick Corbin is he doesn't throw hard at all, and we don't know how velo is going to impact the game this year. Pitch speeds might be down, and that might not matter as much, but if velo matters again like last year as much as it did, he could be a problem. People aren't going to have to worry about having to catch up to 102 and then sit 82. The discrepancies aren't going to be very large, so he might be a problem in that category. However, he does have a 5-pitch mix, even though 2 of them are fastballs. I'd say Patrick Corbin is more of a question mark than Jesus Luzardo, but that's also probably why I have him higher on my list, because I'm more excited. I have more anticipation to see how he actually turns out. Number 16, we have Nico Goodrum, the shortstop for the Detroit Tigers. He can play every position but catcher and pitcher. So that right there, that brings value to this card. Another thing is we've never seen him with a high overall card, so this will be the first one he's ever had in the show history. He also hits switch. He's better against lefties, and he's going to have good speed and good fielding. I don't expect him to be otherworldly, but I'm anticipating playing with this card because he's never had a high card before, and again, he can play so many different positions. He can fill a weak spot you have on your team pretty easily. At number 15, we have an absolute righty killer, a man who can also play multiple positions, but who again is outshined by his teammates and people that I wish I would have seen instead, Max Muncy. Now, again, Max Muncy can play first, he can play second, he can play a little bit of outfield, so he's going to be good in those aspects, and he's going to murder right-handed pitchers. But you throw a lefty in and Max Muncy becomes practically useless. Again, I would have liked to see, Kershaw, Buehler, Bauer. We could have had any number of Cody Bellinger, Mookie Betts, Justin Turner, Corey Seager. Oh, what I would give for a Corey Seager card instead of a Max Muncy card, but here we are, I'm talking about Max Muncy, and that's why he's a little lower on my list. Number 14, we've got Mike Yastrzemski. He's like Max Muncy. He will murder right-handed pitchers, but the thing about Mike Yastrzemski is he can also hit well off of lefty pitchers, which is something Max Muncy can't do. Plus, Yastrzemski has pretty good fielding, albeit he has a very weak arm in the outfield, but that should be an interesting card. His swing last year was pretty nice. At number 13 is the third lefty hitter in a row. We have Dom Smith, who, again, crushes righties. However, the good thing about Dom Smith is he plays first, outfield, you can move him around, and he's just more of an exciting player to me than Max Muncy because he hasn't been as good for as long. He had a breakout season last year, and he's trending upward this year on a team that is also trending upward. So Dom Smith gets put above Max Muncy just because I'm anticipating this card more. He excites me more. At number 12, we've got a pitcher. We've got Luis Castillo. Luis Castillo is now the definitive ace of the Reds now that Trevor Bauer's gone. He's got swagger. We all love seeing Luis Castillo pitch, and apparently so did the Cardinals on opening day because they put up 9, 10, 11, a very high number of runs off of Luis Castillo. And what we love about Luis Castillo in MLB The Show is he's got high velo and break. He's going to have good stuff. His problem, though, is he only has a 4-pitch mix. So, again, he's not going to be able to vary pitches as much. He's got, I believe, a fastball, changeup, slider, curve. So he's got a good mix. It's just that 5th pitch would put him over the top for me. He'd be a lot higher on the list with that 5th pitch. Number 11, we've got Dansby Swanson, who is just going to be a good all-around card. All of his cards in the past have good all-around hitting, good all-around fielding, good all-around arm, good speed. He's just not going to have great of anything. He's not going to be excellent at anything, but he's also not going to be bad at anything at the same time, which is why he's actually at that halfway mark in my list. He's at that number 11 because he's just going to be an above average player. He's going to be good at everything. He'll be able to play on your team. At number 10, we've got Ketel Marte of the Diamondbacks. He's a switch hitter. He's always been better against lefties, however. He can also play a lot of positions. He can play second base. He can play outfield. and he also has decent speed. He's got decent fielding everywhere. We saw 99 Ketel Marte last year get used because he's got a glitchy swing. He's got a very good swing in Diamond Dynasty. Hopefully that trend sticks this year. Being a switch hitter, he can hit on both sides, so that glitchy swing helps out a lot in that case. Number 9, I've got another pitcher with a 4-pitch mix, Jose Barrios. I have Jose Barrios high simply because I like him in real life. I'm kind of concerned at how good this card will be because Jose Barrios in MLB The Show, his best attribute is control. His velo's not that high and his break's not that high. And again, he's got a 4-pitch mix, so I'm not entirely sure how that's going to play. However, he's never had a high overall card in MLB The Show before, so hopefully this 88 overall card is usable. I want to see how it works and how they tweak his attributes for a high overall card because, again, he's never had one before. All right, so number 8, it pains me a little bit because I just watched this man hit 2 home runs off of my team, and including a walk-off. So it hurts to talk about him, but also who doesn't love Bo Bichette? Bo Bichette is another card that we've actually seen the stats of, and he excites me. Last year he had a 98 overall card that was very good. The swing is very good. So if we look at the stats, we see he has 80 and 91 contact, 74 and 79 power, which is not amazing, but it's serviceable at the beginning of the year. He's got 78 fielding, 70 arm, and 66 speed. So the main thing that does it for me with Bo is that it's just Bo Bichette. He's a very, very fun baseball player to watch, and he's going to be fun to have on your team. His hitting is pretty good. At the beginning of the year, that is going to rake against some of those lower overall pitchers that you're going to see. His fielding is decent, arm is decent, speed is decent. Another player we have the attributes of, number 7, is Franmil Reyes, right field. He's got 75 and 99 contact, 106 and 89 power. All of those hitting stats are very good. He is going to rake. This card will crush the baseball. He's got 70 fielding, which is not great. He's got an 80 arm, which is pretty good, but he's a right fielder, so that's not amazing for right field. And he's got 47 speed. With that speed and that not that great of fielding, he's really not going to be able to get to that many baseballs, which is why he's a little lower. That's why he's at 7 and not higher, because he might be a liability in the field, but he is going to murder baseballs. He's going to put balls on Mars, so you might want to pick him up for that reason alone. Number 6 would be a lot higher if I'd ever seen a high overall card of him before. I don't know how this card's going to perform, but it's Ke'Bryan Hayes of the Pirates. Again, we've never seen a high overall card of his before, but we know in real life he absolutely rakes. He crushes baseballs. So hopefully this card is going to be very good at the plate. Other than that, though, I'm not entirely sure how his defense is going to look. Again, if he's got very high overall hitting stats, his defense is going to be lower just to balance him out. He's going to be an 88 overall, so hopefully this is going to be a very good card. Number 5 for me is so high, mostly because it's my team representation, but it's Giancarlo Stanton. Besides maybe one other person on this list, he'll probably have the highest power out of everyone. Coming with that high power is going to be a low contact, so a give and take. If you can hit with low contact and that low PCI, then you're going to want this card because he's going to hit balls a long ways. The thing about Giancarlo Stanton is he's not that fast, he's got weak fielding, and not that strong of an arm. So again, like Franmil Reyes in the outfield, he's not going to perform that amazing, and that might be a turnoff for some people. At number 4, we've got our highest pitcher on my list. The only pitcher that I've actually seen the stats of, so that could be part of the reason why he's so high, just because I know his stats and I know they look good. And this pitcher is Jack Flaherty of the Cardinals. He's got a 4-seamer, a slider, a knuckle curve, a sinker, and a changeup, which is a very good pitch mix. Sinkers last year were absolutely disgusting, great at getting double plays, getting outs. So if the sinker is as good this year as it was last year, this pitch mix is looking very nice. He's got a 96 hits per 9, which is very high. and which is going to lower the opponent's PCI and help you get outs very easily. He's got 72 control, not great control. 80 velo, not great velo, but he's got 89 break, so his pitches are going to move a lot, but we know he's not going to throw the ball that hard, so you're relying on his breaking stuff to get you outs and his sinker to get you outs, kind of like Kluber was last year in a sense. Obviously not as good, but you get the picture. Hopefully this card will be able to get outs with that 96 hits per 9, and I'm very excited to use it. Number 3, we've got Salvador Perez. Salvador Perez, his 99 card last year, did not have the greatest stats, but in my opinion, it was the best catcher in the game. Something about his swing and the way he plays, he is very good. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say this 88 overall Salvador Perez is going to also be very good. He's got 71-67 contact, 85-90 power, 78 fielding, 77 arm, and 24 speed. So he's not going to be absolutely amazing behind the plate, but that's not what you're here for, Salvador Perez. You're here for his swing. You're here for his hitting. With that 85-90 power, that pretty good contact, he's going to hit the ball very well. My number 2 player on this list is somebody that is notorious in MLB The Show for having a glitchy swing, just an insane swing, and that's Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo is always going to have that amazing swing, that great power, that good fielding, and that very good arm. He's going to hit the ball a long ways, and you're going to be able to hit for very high average with him because his swing is so good. Last of all, number 1, Andrew McCutchen of the Phillies. Last year, Andrew McCutchen had a 97 overall card, and I shit you not, this card hit baseballs better than practically any card I used all season. He remained in my lineup by far the longest when I got my God Squad. I had all these 99 overalls. I still wanted to use Andrew McCutchen because this card fucking rakes. We've got 81-93 contact, 80-89 power, amazing hitting stats. And with Andrew McCutchen's swing, at the beginning of the year, this card, I'm telling you right now, this card is going to be the best hitting card we have at the beginning of the year out of this 42 set, minus the Legends. I don't know how the Legends are going to look, but this McCutchen card out of the Team Affinity 1 is going to be the best hitter. Now, he's got 62 fielding and 50 arm, so he's atrocious in left field, but you don't care when it comes to Andrew McCutchen and his swing and his stats. This card is going to rake. Okay, so I've gone over every single one of the 42 cards that we've seen up to this point as of Wednesday night, the night before MLB The Show 21 finally gets released. So let me know down in the comments if you agree with my opinions, if you think I'm completely off base. How anticipated are you for certain cards, if you think they'll be good, bad. But I'm looking forward to making a lot more content this year for MLB The Show. In the future, I'm going to grind, I'm going to get a great team, and I'm going to be providing that no money spent squad that I always have done in MLB The Show. I make it my mission never to spend any money, and this year's the same. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.